Hello and welcome to the Sabbath supplement for the La Crescenta Ward for Sunday, August 16th. We have two announcements today before we begin our program. The first is that the Relief Society the presidency has decided to begin holding regular meetings again on the first and third Sundays of each month. This will be at 11 a.m. on the first and third Sundays via Zoom. Today is going to be the first meeting at 11, and then going forward, they will be the first and third Sundays of each month. Hopefully you received the link already. Jeff Young emailed that. If you did not receive it for any reason and want to join that Zoom meeting today or going forward, just reach out to any member of the Relief Society presidency or any member of the Bishopric, and we will get that link to you as soon as we can. The second announcement is one we mentioned before. That is tonight between 6:30 and 7:30, we are having a drive-through farewell at the Stake Center for two missionaries from our ward who will be departing soon, Sister Elena Marriott and Sister Elizabeth Hales. So again, the farewell is just a drive-through. Please enter the parking lot from Rosemont. There are also several missionaries from the Verdugo Hills Ward who will be leaving soon, and this is a joint farewell with those missionaries as well. So given that we expect a fairly large crowd, please do enter from the Rosemont side, and that will help traffic flow a little better. And sadly, we must bid farewell to our two sister missionaries who've been serving in our ward. We knew that Sister Mitri Y was returning home to Arizona. We're grateful we were able to have her here, even though it was only for one transfer. She spent most of her mission, as you may recall, in the Philippines, and then due to COVID was sent home and then reassigned to our mission. So even though she was only here a short time, we loved having her here. She definitely had an infectious spirit for missionary work and enthusiasm. So we are sorry to see her go, but we know her time was up. Sister Hardin, on the other hand, we thought we would keep since Sister Mitri was going home, but unfortunately she's being transferred as well. So we've asked those two sisters to come to the church tonight at 6:30. So as you come through to bid farewell to Sister Marriott and Sister Hales, you can also say goodbye to Sister Mitri and Sister Hardin. And for our program today, we actually are going to hear from Sister Mitri and Sister Hardin. They recorded a short video detailing a new initiative that is being implemented in our mission. This is a new approach to missionary work. It's very, if different than you might expect, different than anything that missionaries have done before. So their introduction will give us a brief glimpse of what this is like, and then please do have the missionaries over to your home to learn more about this initiative. And also there was a slight change in their mission rule. They are allowed to come visit in homes if you invite them in, and feeding them meals, the mission president clarified that is only on weekends and they must be done with the meal before 5 p.m. So please invite them over for a meal before 5 p.m. on Saturday or Sunday. Otherwise, during the week, you can have them over to talk about this new initiative, to just share a message with your family, whatever it is you need done. They are more than happy to come visit and share what they do and share their spirit with your family. Our concluding speaker will be Sister Michelle Taylor, who based her talk on an article that was written recently with ecclesiastical leaders from several faiths, including our own. So we will make sure the link is emailed. Everyone has that link to that article, because it does dovetail with the things that Michelle talks about. So we hope you enjoy the program. As always, please reach out to your ministering sisters and brothers if you need anything. And if that does not work, please reach out to a member of the Bishopric or the Relief Society presidency. We're more than happy to help those in need and want to know what those needs are, because if people are in need, we definitely want to know about it and do what we can. So we hope you enjoy the program. Hope you have a wonderful Sabbath day, and enjoy the rest of your coming week.
We have a new initiative that we want to present to you guys. Yes, but don't comment because it's going to be great, I promise. Yeah. This initiative is just to get you guys doing missionary work and going on after waves. And just FYI, you might already do missionary work because, might not recognize it as missionary work. But, as missionaries, we come over every day for probably 6 months and give you a different missionary task. But more than likely, one of three things is going to happen. One, you won't be comfortable with the invitation, so you won't do it. Two, it won't fit the needs of your family, so you probably won't do it. And three, you probably don't like being told what to do, so you probably won't do it, which, are all valid. And we don't know you and your family, and you don't know what you're comfortable with. So this initiative is 100% up to you. It's what you're comfortable with, it's on your own time, it's all up to you guys. You can be as creative as you want, or you can be as simple as you want. You can go above and beyond, or you can stay in your comfort zone. It's totally up to you guys, and we're really, really excited to have you guys all try. Yeah. And so with this initiative, the ball is in your court. And we're going to be here for support. We're going to be your backup anchors, your cheerleaders, and we're going to provide anything you need. And we just want to disclaim, I guess, that we are not expecting referrals from you tomorrow or the next day or the next day. The whole purpose of this initiative is to help our friends that are not of our faith to feel Christ's love. As you know, especially during these times, it's really hard for them to find peace and comfort. But we know that through the gospel of Jesus Christ, right, we can find that peace and that comfort. And so that's where we come in. We as members of the Church of Jesus Christ, a lot of these things. And fulfill our baptismal covenant to warn those from warn and comfort, those discerning and give comfort. And I know that as we do this, as we have the desire and the willingness, that we're willing to do this, I'm going to call it will bless us. And that's what we expect us, right? To have that desire. And as we, continue to do this initiative, that we will not only bless our friends' lives, our neighbors' lives, but we bless our lives. We will definitely recognize the Lord in the details of our lives. But we appreciate everything you guys do. We love you. And we just want to say these things in Jesus Christ. Amen.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Sunday. I know it's been a long time since we've been all able to be together in the same building and to be able to listen to each other's, the speakers, and be edified from lessons that the teachers have prepared, and just to see one another. And I just want you to know that I'm sorry for that, but I am definitely happy to be here today to see you all through technology, I guess, and with the Sunday supplement. With that, I just have a message to share with you today. So we've all been quarantining and pretty much staying away from each other, which has been very sad. But we've all been trying to find our own pods to be with. If it's not close friends, family members, we've all tried to quarantine ourselves in a way that we would be safe. And I know that's been really hard on our family, and I'm sure it's been all hard on you guys, especially for the children in the ward. It's been hard for the any age in our ward, especially those who live alone, who look forward to coming to church every Sunday and seeing their friends and looking forward to messages to take home and to think about during the week. So having this Sunday supplement has really been helpful in my life, to see you guys again and to see some of you who've given lessons and or talks and whatnot. We've all been dealing with this pandemic, and it's been very sad and it's caused a lot of fear for myself and for my family, and I'm sure for all of you. We've all been told to sacrifice in many ways, especially our children not being able to go to school, and it's been stressful, and I have to admit it's caused a lot of anxiety for me and my family, probably more than others in the family. So as I have this time this morning, I just wanted to talk a little bit about how I felt from the beginning of the pandemic and where I'm at now and all that. So at first, when this hit, the information, I was very worried about supplies for my home, if I had enough toilet paper, if I had enough paper towels, cleaners, and that became my thought process of like, do I have enough for my family? And then it came to worry, like, oh, I'm worried for my daughter who just had a baby, and I'm worried for, that's Olivia, and I'm worried for Grace, who's engaged, and now she can't have her wedding, and worried for my daughter Audrey, who last March was a senior at UC Davis, and she had to have her water polo season cut short, and she had to graduate without a graduation. And then also with Henry, he had to come home from school and not go back, and he had to social distance from his friends and his leaders, who he really admires, and he had no siblings at home at the time, and he just had Brigham and I, and he had to learn from home. And that is really hard on him as well as everybody else. Everybody's been going through that. So at first I was just distracting myself with, maybe some TV shows, reading books or whatever. And it was just felt like Groundhog Day. Every day was the same thing every day. And further, I felt my life was getting away with me. Like it was just becoming just so worrisome and so boring, and the news was crazy, and there was just a lot of sadness. And so back then we didn't know as a lot about the virus, and so there was a lot of like unknown and stress. And I spent a lot of time with myself, which I'm sure a lot of you have. Maybe not those with young children, but if you're my age and you have older children, there was a lot more time I had to myself, and I really didn't know what to do. And I started to do everything that would not bring me peace. Like I said, I would watch marathon shows, or I would walk my dog, which I guess some things brought me peace, but I would just do anything besides maybe opening scriptures or praying. And I just felt really distracted from my life and from, everything that was going on. And I felt really alone. And in fact, I would tell Brigham, I just feel so lonely and I don't know why, and so anyway, as time has gone on, I started to think, I got a lot of time in my hands. Maybe I should, try to become closer to God during this time. Maybe I was just feeling frustrated and all that. But I started to take time for prayer more than I used to, which wasn't saying much. Started to not only read scriptures, but to look on the internet for some type of talks that I could read that would bring me peace and make me feel hopeful for the future. And this was kind of my quest for a while. And I thought a lot about, like, how can I be a better person? What am I doing? I'm totally detaching myself from my friends because of this virus. I've only been dealing with family. So I guess what I'm getting at is I just spent a lot of time worrying and slowly becoming closer to God again. And as time has gone on, I felt like I was reaching out and trying to be closer to Him and pray for peace and help with decisions I had to make, or just basically with this pandemic and the corona crisis that we were dealing with. When Ryan Harvey texted me to give this talk, or whatever talk I wanted to, I was reluctant at first, but then I thought, okay. And when you give a talk, you start to research things you're interested in. And I have to admit, I came across this interview that Jeffrey Holland did for this website that's called the Elijah Interfaith Institute. And it is run by Rabbi Dr. Alon Goshen Gottstein. He is a rabbi that has built this organization that fosters peace in the world. What Rabbi Dr. Alon does is he brings together other religious figures. If they're not teachers and scholars, they are bishops and all types of religious leaders, and he brings them together to talk about the world. And this is all going on before the pandemic. But during the pandemic, Rabbi decided to interview a lot of these leaders, and he interviewed Jeffrey Holland recently, and I came across his interview, and I just felt like it spoke home to me. So I hope that you can find it. If you look up Jeffrey Holland, the interviewing title is Corona. I'm gonna say it wrong. Corona Spection, like spection, Corona Spection, and they're just different leaders thinking about how the coronavirus has affected them and their congregations. So Jeffrey Holland was asked many questions by the rabbi, and I have to say it was such a nice thing to watch. So I do recommend all of you for that. And if you want to text me or maybe I'll put in the website for that. But anyway, something that President Holland, he talked about was solitude, and how solitude is the state of being alone. It's kind of an inward, quiet feeling towards yourself. It's just basically being able to be okay with yourself. And that's what I was totally thinking about this whole summer, is like I'm spending a lot of time with myself, and do I like who I am, and do I like my own company, and how can I make myself better company, you know? And so that's exactly what Jeffrey Holland was saying in his interview. Like he was saying, with all the travel he didn't have to do anymore, with he was home a lot more, and he was able to really think about who he is and where he's at in his life. So with solitude, you try to find a way to be okay with who you are. And a lot of it is when you are like alone, instead of feeling lonely, you spend time with yourself. You can read, you can pray, you can meditate, but it's just the act of solitude that's really important. And there's many stories in the Bible when Jesus would have solitude, and he would go away from the disciples to retreat and to come back with more strength and answers to move on. And it's a very powerful thing. And I was telling my daughter Audrey that no matter where you go in your life, if you could have solitude, if you can be able to be alone with yourself, then you can go anywhere. And anybody could be put in a different job or a different opportunity, even a mission, that if you can learn to work on yourself and get to know yourself, that it's actually like something that could really uplift you and make you not only feel better about yourself, but then you can give to other people as well. So Jeffrey Holland had a lot of things to say, and I really would love for anybody to, watch this interview. But the main thing he said is that through all this pandemic, that he says with all this feelings of being alone and working on himself, that he started to have more empathy toward basically the human race, not only the members of the church, but all children of God. And he was very fearful for them, for those who were, maybe that could get the virus easier than others. And he started to really worry about, just all the children of God, and started to find ways that he could reach out and show his love for them. And that was really interesting to me, because when I was then not only listening to Jeffrey Holland's interview, I started listening to other leaders, other religious leaders, and what they had to say about the virus. And they all said it, whatever language they were speaking, was the same thing. Who was worried about their congregations and worried about the love they have for others. It's interesting that this pandemic has almost unified the world in a way that we're all going through the same thing, and that we are worried about our future and how we all want just for us to be okay and to be healthy and to move forward. We're all grieving with those who are losing their lives and not winning the battle with this virus, and are having side effects from having the virus. So to me, I see it as like a positive. The only positive it could be is that we're all in this together. And so I've had to really think about that. And I started to pray and just be so thankful for the life I have here, and for the health of my children and my parents. And I just thought, there's so much worry in the world right now, and there's so much negativity, and there's if you wear a mask, if you don't wear a mask. And I'm not trying to get political here, but the bottom line is, for me, is that all these religious leaders that I listen to on this website, they all said that they wish well their congregation. They all wish for them to find solitude in their lives, to become closer to our Father in heaven, and to pray and meditate, and to try to take time to, get to know themselves better and to be almost like a better instrument in the hands of the Lord to help others. And so I guess what I'm trying to say is that there's so many ways that we can do this that almost feels like it's a little bit easier than face-to-face. So for instance, we can shoot a text to a friend, or we can drop something off at someone's house to let them know we're thinking of them, that we still be obeying the quarantine. We can, I know that some kind of funny thing that I've been doing with my friends from high school is that a friend of mine has been setting up these Zooms and these Zoom meetings with friends that I grew up with. And we've been able to reconnect and find out what they're going through during this pandemic. And it's been kind of, it's been making me feel like I'm not crazy. And, and then there's other ways where we could just give a phone call as well and check on loved ones. But the bottom line is, I guess what I'm trying to say, and I'm taking a long time to say it, is that life is too short, and even though we're in this pandemic, we're in it together. I know there's going to be an end, and it might be a new normal, but I just know with trying to turn away from ourselves and to reach out to others, that we can offer some sort of like love or companionship to those around us, and to reach beyond just our friends and family. That maybe, as a nation, that we could be more unified to be able to deal with this virus and see it through. And I'm so thankful to be a member of this church, that I was so proud of Jeffrey Holland and how he expressed himself to the rabbi and answered all the questions. I really connected with his answers, and I was so surprised of just the unity of all these religious leaders and their love for their congregations. And I know that our prophet is worried about all his members of the church, worried about every missionary and everybody that could be in trouble with the virus if they have an immune disorder or something. But the bottom line is that if we can just stick together and pray for one another, I know that we can get through this, and we'll look back and we have gained so much more than we have lost. And this I say in the name of Jesus Christ, amen.